What's up, witches? Luna here. Welcome to my channel, and welcome especially to my patrons who are getting to see this just a little earlier than everybody else. You guys, every month, for you non-patrons, I put up a poll in Patreon, and you guys get to pick the deck that I am buying with my Patreon funds that month. So this month, it is the Gill Tarot. And this is a true unboxing. I have not deplasticked this yet. And it's a deck that I have been looking at for a while because I kind of consider it a classic, even though I think it only came out in the early 2000s. All right, this is a reprint, 2018. But, you know, aside from the early decks, in the early 2000s is when I was really exposed to the publishers, to U.S. Games and Llewellyn, and really could look through catalogs and see what was going on there. So I have been thinking about this deck for many, many years. Let's get the plastic off. I don't like this part. Yeah. This is why I usually don't do this on camera, is because it can take a while, because I don't want to ding the box all up. Okay, here we go. This is U.S. Games. I don't know if I said that or not. Anyhow, Elizabeth Josephine Gill is the artist. The Gill Tarot with stunning full pictorial art by Elizabeth Josephine Gill enables readers to access and examine reflections of the subconscious through vivid symbolism. The deck is based on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life and follows the structure of the Thoth Tarot system. Oh, cool! Just more titling, and on the back we get an image of the Chariot. Includes 80 card deck with instruction booklet. Oh, that I did not know. And yes, this edition is 2018. Just your standard U.S. Games tuck box. I have no problem with that. It'll give me something to do while I'm watching TV to reinforce the box. Now, this doesn't have a zippy thing, so here we go again. I don't want to mess up the edge of the cards. There, I think I got it. Arg. This is why I don't do this part on camera. Okay, I got the plastic off. I edited out the bulk of that struggle because it was a bigger struggle than I anticipated. And again, reinforces why I do this off camera. Anyhow, pardon me. Here is the LWB. Not very huge, but, you know, how much do you need? There's like 44 pages. The introduction. So the original copyright was 1989, so it is a classic deck. I thought that it felt older than, you know, than that to me, but so here we are. The introduction. To be useful for spiritual searching, a system must offer a mirror in which one can see oneself as objectively as possible, and it must be a guide to lead the seeker. There must also be a living, growing, dynamic bond between the seeker and the object of study. Without that, nothing arises except the accumulation of information and an increase in vanity based on a view of oneself as being imbued with great amounts of mystical knowledge. This is interesting. By using symbolic pictures, I'm not going to read the whole thing. By using symbolic pictures of ourselves in our ancient path, the Tarot speaks directly to the subconscious and thus reflects, like a mirror, both the hidden and the accessible parts of the self, areas that may have been buried or ignored. The archetypal picture offers clues to our nature, our road, and how things work. Okay. Okay, just saw an interesting thing go by. A clue, C-L-E-W, and they have the standard spelling in parentheses, is a ball of thread that guides us through a labyrinth. I never knew that. Many fairy stories tell of the clue given by a wise woman to the king, prince, or princess. As the clue unwinds and snakes ahead, the seeker may find his or her way through the impenetrable forest by following it. So, okay, we have, I'm going to skip the rest of that. 78 card tarot pack is divided into 2 series. Okay, it doesn't say anything about extra cards. Okay, so it's talking about the ace through 10 of each suit correspond to the Sephiroth and the Tree of Life. Or the spheres. Okay. And it talks about the court cards, layouts. The cards relate to their positions as follows, so it does give it like a general numerical meaning across the suits. And then we go into the meanings. And what do we have at the end? We got, that oh so funny blank page. I always find this very interesting that, we get this to take notes while we're learning. Okay, anyhow, let's come up close. Here we have the facing card, I'm assuming, because it says the Gill Tarot. Oh, okay. Oh. So these are the extra cards. The Gill Tarot on this side, we have a picture of the Tree of Life with planetary attributions, I'm assuming. We've got moon down here. We've got a crown. It's like maybe a yoni and a shield, a crook and a flail. Is that a rose? I'm assuming they mention these in the book, and a wing. So, sorry, back to the book. I need to see if this is mentioned or where it's mentioned. It has to be. Okay, on the title card, the figure is crowned with the infinite blah, 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 the light from the principle radiates down to his heart center, symbolized by the sun. Okay, the left and right are active and passive. The moon is below. And then we have a layout guide. Now, see, we have the same thing. And it says, and I see man as... Man, what? I see man as trees walking. Okay. So we have this and then a layout guide, I guess. I'm not going to go any further with that. I took too much time already. Okay, now into the deck. We have we're following standard because we have the Fool at the edge of the cliff, but he's holding either a planet or a diamond in his hand. What is that? Is that a pentagram? It looks like the moon, I think. So here he goes, tripping off, literally, the edge of the cliff, and the dog is just kind of standing there. I like the softness of the art. It really is exquisite artwork. So yes, those are the backs. So you can see that they are directional, and I want to see if we have reverse. The majors just say have a description and divinatory meanings, and the minors do not have. They have a keyword. They don't have a specific upright and reverse meaning. Here's the Magician. Is that true of like Crowley's Thoth deck? I don't know. Here is the Magician. I love the light in the cards. They're very stylized. The face almost looks like a Byzantine icon or mosaic. Those big eyes, you know. Then we have the priestess. Isn't she lovely? I love the veil, that the veil is draped over her. Usually we see, you know, the priestess is sitting there and she's got the 2 columns on either side. And then there's a veil hanging behind her, but this is draped over her and it just looks like her gown is water pouring down. That's gorgeous. beautiful, beautiful. Okay, here's the Empress. Oh, thank you so much for picking this deck, patrons, because wow, that is frickin' gorgeous. We have a waning moon. That's interesting. I'm just drawn into these images. I want to spend a lot of time looking at them. Here's the Emperor, looking very Spartan. A Greek. The priest instead of the Hierophant. I always like that. Priestess and the priest. Look at the sun on his chest. He's surrounded by water. I just love the images. Okay, here's the lovers. So instead of kind of that lion head, look at the rendering of the angel. Let me see if I can bring it in closer for you. It's gorgeous. Just beautiful. And look at the man is down on his knee. This is very obvious how their things are oriented. He is oriented towards her. He's kneeling to her, and she has her hand up to spirit, looking at spirit. And spirit's hand is kind of pointing down to him too. So to both of them. Love it. Chariot. That's a dynamic card. You can see whoosh, and the spinning wheel. Here's strength. Skeleton, they're in the middle of a desert. She's got an actual live serpent going up the staff there. Rays around her head. That's just beautiful. Okay, I'm just kind of getting vibes here of just honoring the beast within. That it's kind of that Tibetan concept of I think is it feeding your demons, where you acknowledge that the beast inside you or the demon, inside you needs something. It's there because there's an unmet need. And so when we feed our demons, we meet the needs and those demons can go away. So that I'm looking at the flowers around the lion's neck and just kind of, she's caring for this beast, and her care is taming that beast. Sorry, I launched. And see, that's what a good deck will do, is launch you into, here's the story that I see here, Ooh, I'm happy. Here's the Hermit. That's beautiful. I love the color there. The Wheel of Fortune, very simple. We have the 4 tools and the eye at the top. Spectrum. Justice. She doesn't have a blindfold, but her eyes are closed. I really like this imagery. There's the crook and flail. The Hanged Man in his harlequin colors, his multicolor, partycolor. Look at this. Ooh, I love this image. I find that very attractive. Look at the sweep of that sickle, that scythe. That's a scythe. And look at the cup spilling here, and the edges of the gown, or that's just where he's standing. It looks like it's blood outlining it. Wow. And then we have a little foreshadowing here of the King of the Nazgul, the Witch King of Angmar. All right, all you Lord of the Rings nerds out there. Temporare. Death. Temporare. How strange that it's not temperance. Very interesting. Look at the flames and the water. Ooh, so good. Balance. Look at the devil. This deck is very descriptive with color. Going from some things that are very almost pastel-y and transparent into these full saturation and dark, and the gradients are really dynamic. Okay. So the devil, he is ablaze. The I believe it's the male figure here. He's standing with his foot on a pile of gold. He's got this gold around his neck and a book and a crown, and she's reaching for him. And it's like, you know, getting everything you desire, being greedy for it, being jealous. So good. Here's the Tower. Kapoom. The Star. Oh, the light. You know, you would think these are look to be done in maybe almost a watercolorish as a medium, and the dynamics that come through it are more than you would expect from that, and that is the sign of a good artist. Actually, I don't know how this could be watercolor, because how could you leave that kind of white exposed? Watercolor's terrifying. Okay, the Star. Sorry. Here's the Moon. Look at her weeping. Oh, look at the tears coming down here. That's an amazing addition. Wow. Here's the Sun. This one departs. We have to do, or maybe it doesn't depart from Thoth. I don't use Thoth as a rule, so I don't have that all really internalized. But look at the Sun. Look at the light and the shimmering crystal. Here's Judgment. The parents standing there, and there's a baby. So it's not like we're raising the dead. This is something very different. And then the World. That's a person with hypermobility Ehlers-Danlos. Look at that. Okay, now we have King of Swords, Intuition. The Queen is Reason. Isn't she beautiful? Prince, Action. I love, love, love. Keywords. Princess, Control. Desolation. And so looky here. We have big numbers. So these are going to be pippish. There are the 10 swords and the big number 10. So thank God we have a keyword. Desolation. Despair. And yet, the palette, the background is very descriptive. I kind of like the big numbers. Conflict. Uncertainty. The backgrounds really lend a lot. Change is the 6 of Swords. Look at them where they fall inside this circle where the sun is. They're kind of, rotting away. So there's information. Loss. Look at the red. Rest. Wow. So go from here. Loss, and that only two colors basically. We've got red and we've got gray, kind of a brownie for the letter, but we got red, we got gray. It's a stressful red to my eyes. And then we go, that visually, this is amazing. Rest. And I love the way the swords themselves form the number. And then we have look at this sorrow. And this silhouette of a person just like crying blood. Wow. And then peace. So again, from this to this. Peace. I might have darkened my camera down, but I didn't. Just, this is unique. This is a deck I've never quite seen the like of. It, we have descriptive imagery. We have imagery that makes an emotional impact, even just through color. So I really appreciate that as an empath. Then we have the pips, we have the 2 of Swords, and we have the numbers, so we don't have to count them up. And then we have a keyword. What more do you need? And energy, there's the A, and the aces have a big A on them. Energy, do you feel it? I do. Okay, wands. Innovation. Look at the color. Reflection. Gosh, I wonder what element this suit is. So now we can kind of go back and look at, I want to look at the quartz here again to see, yeah. I mean, look at how air is depicted. We've got lightning striking and the emphasis on sky. She's literally sitting in a cloud. He's on the clouds. And then the princess here is on the ground, but the sword is pointing up. Ooh, that has some very serious ritual resonance for me. It's like drawing down the moon. Anyhow, then we're into absolutely fire with the wands. Reflection is the queen. Aspiration for the prince. And it's all this red and yellow. And then the princess's transformation. The princess seems to be bringing in earth here. Is that true? Is that true in Thoth decks? I know they talk about the quartz in the beginning. Let's see if I can find it quickly. The title card. Da-da-da-da. I don't think so. At any rate, it seems that the princess is representing the element of earth. I mean, sorry. Not letting it go anytime soon here. Do they say at the beginning of... No, suit of wands, it goes right into the cards. All right, that's something I will look up. If you are versed in Thoth decks and you use them, you can answer down below too. So there's the princess. Look at this transformation. Look at the phoenix. I'm excited about this. Here's Ten of Wands, oppression. Literally looking like you're in prison, in a burning prison. Preparation for the 9. With candles. Speed is the 8, of course. Yeah, I guess the brown things are... Those are arrows. Those are like the fletching on arrows. So everything's spinning in a circle. Speed. I love the way they... Did they do this in the last suit? Yes. The way the font changes and moves and curves. Look at Valor. I am digging this deck. Here's Victory, and look at the Yoni Yantra there. Endeavor. Completion. Again, the 4 kind of part of the whole design. Enterprise. Dominion. Oh. Look at how the palette changed, but we still have flames here, much lighter. And then potency. Inspiration is the king. Look at the water. Sitting on a throne with fishes. Contemplation is the queen. This is one of my favorite cards so far. Not even so far. This is one of my favorite cards. That image just rings my bell. I don't know what to say. I always say, I want a wall size. Can I have that wall size, please? Creativity. Look at the clay. So he's forming a vessel out of clay, bringing water to earth. And then, so the prince here is more earth. And then we have evolution with the princess, and she's a mermaid. This is wonderful. Success. Okay, wait. Okay. So interesting that threw me because of the color change. Very earthy in the 10, but look at the fountain. Springing up to fill all those cups. And then we have content. What's this again? Success. Content. Instability. That's very depicted very well. We have 7 is imagination. So we've got those 7 cups here, but they don't each have something different in them. But just imagination, and there's a dragon. Very cool. Satisfaction. That's good. Regret. Satiety. I've had enough. I'm full. I'm up to here, you know. Joy. Look at the red kind of coming out of there. That's interesting. Love. And beauty. Oh, wow. This, you know, that color palette reminds me of a lot in the Crowley deck. Now we have King of Pentacles, conception, nurture. It kind of bugs me that some of them are nouns and some are verbs, but you know, that's me. Nurture. Construction. Well, maybe that's the way they look at it, that the kings are the active principle and the queen and princess. Okay, no, I don't think that tracks. So there's nurture. I love the colors there. Construction. Growth. She's spinning. Prosperity. Wow. Golden apples, it looks like. Prudence. Taking things step by step, going across stepping stones. Skill. Wow. Look at the lines that are radiating out for where he's hammering. Delay. Are those suns? Are those coins? I didn't know. Well-being for the 6. Adaptation. Order. I got to say that Suit of Pentacles is not triggering me image-wise as much as the others. Gain is the 3. Unity is the 2. That's interesting. And then wealth. Yes, of all of those, I connect least with the Suit of Pentacles. Let's get ready to give it a blessing here. I should have lit my charcoal before. Let that get going, and then we got to get this going. I'm going to take off those 2 very considerately provided blocking cards. And I mean, yeah, I'll do the whole deck. What the hell am I thinking? What are you thinking, Luna? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to give it the utilitarian blessing. So first, by air and fire, may you be purified and charged. Let's do the book. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. I will try so hard not to kill your ears with this. And by spirit, may you be awakened. May the spirit of this deck and the intention that the artist put in awaken and become available to me as I read. And then we say thank you to guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Thank you so much for being here. I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael. I offer that to this deck as well. It'll get going. Okay, now we get to find out if it shuffles. Will it shuffle? It's US Games. I am hopeful. It's a wider deck, but I think it's shorter than your standard. Ooh, are these stiff? Oh, so disappointed. I can't even bend them to shuffle, you guys. Look at this. I am very unpleasantly surprised, US Games. I mean, I think they could be loosened up, but it will take a lot of work. And I'm doing these in the smallest chunks because they are super stiff. I am not down with that. All right, I'm just going to take a little bit to shuffle here to get a good mix, but I might have to do a cut and pull with these for the first time. And did I take those two face cards off? No, I didn't. Okay, hold on. Am I going to find them? Thanks for hanging out, you guys. Obviously, I'm in the slow zone today. There's one. There's the other. See, they stayed together. I didn't even get them separated. All right. Let's see how we do on a cut shuffle. All right, we do okay. But I think I'm just going to cut shuffle and then cut and pull. They feel like they would spread easily. You know, they slide on each other pretty easily. And I mean, wow. So, sometimes, you know, having a wider card but not proportionately longer can make them harder to bend. But this is just some hefty stock. Seriously. I hate that because I love to riffle shuffle into bridge. That's the way I mix. And they say that, you know, people that do magic and stuff, and in Las Vegas, dealers and things, they have discovered statistically that 7 riffle shuffles is the perfect number to get the maximum randomization. Okay, so the question we are asking with a little bit more Azrael is, oh, so she likes me. My card comes flipping out. The High Priestess. Just what do we need to know? I leave it to you, dear deck. What do we need to know? Let's do a couple more shuffles. See if we get any other jumpers. Okay, and I'm going to take off the top. Justice. And the Sun. Wow, 3 majors. But they're not, you know, consecutive. So I did get the mixed, but holy moly, you guys. This deck has stepped forward for me. This deck is absolutely showing me that she wants to play. So let's go to the book. Priestess, Justice, Sun. What I see is that some things that have been hidden and are being hidden will go through a process of justice and come into the light of day. That's the quick reading. All right. Priestess. As the magician stands under the white sun in the open air, the priestess is the queen of the night. She symbolizes the powers of the subconscious. Her language is of symbol and dream. She is in a hidden cavern of the earth, but at the same time she guards the opening to the stars. She is the fount of the stream of consciousness that flows through the tarot. She is the fount of the stream of consciousness that flows through the tarot and symbolizes the flow of timeless awareness that we split into sections and call our allotted time. Reflective like the moon, she mirrors, absorbs, and returns light. She also reflects other things into consciousness. Divinatory meanings: strong, unrecognized subconscious motivation. Okay, so it's strong, unrecognized subconscious motivation. Strong contact with subconscious self. Inner enlightenment can be sought. So we're saying here this can either be unrecognized or recognized subconscious things. So yeah, shadow. What's in there that we have been hiding for one reason or another, consciously or unconsciously? Justice. Justice represents the law of work, action, or karma. It is a symbolic picture of the process of learning and changing through experience. The scales are weighted down on one side or the other by actions performed within the wheel of life. The figure of justice is another aspect of the priestess, this time in dark robes as an agent of correction. The sword brings upon us forces from which we can learn, often painfully, but always justify. Okay. Forces from which we can learn, but always justify. Okay. The veils behind justice, which cover the light, may be lifted one by one only through personal willingness to accept the lessons of life. Okay, so the darkness is just layers of veils, and as those veils are lifted and we're willing to learn, the light comes in. That's wonderful. Your present position is one you have earned. There is a lesson for you within it that may help you lift a veil. That's all it says. So justice means things are fair. Whatever's gotten is earned. Fair, one way or the other. You know? Karma. All right, and then we have the sun. So we have reaped what we have sown, for good or ill. And there are things that we are acknowledging are unconscious, and we're dealing with those, and there's more to come out, I would say. Sun. In the full light of the sun, the conscious and the subconscious are shown as two dancers linked by the promise of eternity, the rainbow double helix. And that's, I don't see a double helix. I see a, what's it called? Lemniscate, the 8, the infinity. All right. The two are in symbiotic rhythm. My mouth is not in rhythm with my tongue. The two are in symbiotic rhythm and harmony. The crystals on which they dance are symbolic of the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. And that's a Bible quote, Isaiah 45:3. That's an Old Testament quote. Which have been formed deep within the earth by heat and pressure into a substance that can reflect and refract the sun's rays. Silica, from which quartz crystal is formed, is the most common element of the earth's crust. The commonplace is capable of refinement into the most precious and beautiful. Divinatory meanings: success, joy, harmony, and beauty. Done. So, those are pretty flat meanings: success, joy, harmony, beauty. But, you know, this deck really does lend itself to pulling more information out of the images. I'm going to try a couple more to see if we can get a court and a minor. We have the court, and we have the world, Prince. Okay, let's just look these up. The Princess is evolution. This is Princess of Cups. Hold up. Oh, okay, sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. Evolution. The mermaid princess reaches for a cup, the chalice of immortality. Traditionally, mermaids are said to have no soul, and they turn into sea foam when they die. They undergo great suffering in order to become human and win the undying love of the truly human. Through this love, they are promised immortality. Okay, so evolution. So it describes mermaids here and their process of transformation, and then we are left to our own devices to interpret the keyword evolution, which is not really alluded to here at all. This is not a beginner deck. This is not a beginner's deck. I can see that being just completely baffling if you're not used to the standard. Okay, let's look up the 9 of Cups. Content or content. 8, which one? Either one, I guess. 8 cups pour water into a larger cup. So here's the 8 cups. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, this is the 9. Ha ha ha. 8. Yes, 8 cups pour water into a larger cup. You guys, my brain is just hiccup. It's got the hiccups. All right. Let's start. 8 cups pour water into a larger cup, which holds their contents without spilling. The card suggests fulfillment, a subconscious that is replete. So this is the wish card, and talks about contentment. All right. So very interesting. The writing is really interesting, and it might be interesting to do almost a side-by-side with this and the Thoth deck. But wow. Let me know what you think. Do you have this deck? How long have you had it? How long have you been using it? What do you think of it? Hi, Cliff. Okay. We've got good meanings. We've got really good artwork. The imagery is amazing for me. I'm certainly going to be using this and seeing where I can get with it personally, but I would say not for a beginner. With the beginner, if you really want to internalize the fully illustrated tarot. Now, if you're going down the Thoth path, why not? You would certainly want to start with, I would start with Crowley's, but if you're an experienced reader and you really go on intuition, you know, the cards are just sort of a structure, then yeah, great deck. I love the artwork. I do. All right, well, thank you to my patrons for funding this deck, and I feel like the historical decks section of the collection is getting a little more grounded. I was glad to see this was a deck from the 80s because I really did feel like I remembered it from then. So again, let me know what you think, and if you found this useful or entertaining in any way, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. You want to hit the bell notification because sometimes some issues mean that I get a little erratic with content, but then you'll know every time I post something. The likes really do help the channel. I appreciate it. And also I appreciate your comments, and I engage with all of you. So I had somebody ask me a super interesting question today that I'm actually going to shoot a video on. So let's engage. I will see you guys next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.